Welcome to the Business Happy Hour radio show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, the owner of Lincoln Lending Group right here in Tampa Bay for 23 years. Joined by his incredible co-host, Ksenia Akishina, realtor with Mahara and Associates, Tampa's top real estate company. Together, they have helped finance and close nearly $1 billion of real estate every year. If you're looking for local mortgage or real estate advice, the Business Happy Hour team has been right here on News Radio WFLA for over a decade. Listen right here or find us on the Business Happy Hour YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram at Frank the Bank Cotto. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious mortgage, real estate, and business talk with two of Tampa's top experts. Here's Frank the Bank and Ksenia.
All right, Tampa Bay, are you ready for another amazing radio show on the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial? That's right. Applause, everyone. Applause for the greatest show in Tampa Bay. So if you're on Instagram, make sure you like and share. Send us out there to all your friends. We're about to have a great show, and we're going to learn about how you can freeze your worries away today. That's right. You can get into some sub-zero tank at CRYOGENIX, and you can make everything go away, and or you will freeze and die. And we'll find out how to prevent the latter here on the show with Shane from CRYOGENIX. Welcome to the show, Shane.
Hey, blessed to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. And in studio with always my amazing, I'm going to take it down a notch, my amazing co-host, Ksenia Akishina.
Oh, thank you, Frank. Hello, hello.
How are you doing?
You know what? I'm doing great. Did you hear all the thunder this morning?
Oh my God. I would say the thunder didn't wake me up. My dog jumping on top of my head, shaking, woke me up this morning.
Oh, well, I thought that I'll be driving here in pouring rain.
Yeah.
And what do you know?
It's beautiful.
Blue sky. It's beautiful.
It's sunny and beautiful today.
So I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah. How about these summer thunderstorms? Are they back now? Are we going to get our rain every afternoon
always.
now?
I mean, that's just, it's something that we get every summer.
I don't know if we ever get used to this in Florida. Shane, what do you think? Are you from Florida?
Born and raised here.
Are you really?
Yeah, Dade City.
Oh my God, it's another tampon. Man, if the show has two tampons on it right now, we are extra absorbent today. We are going to do very good. We absorbed all that rain. Don't worry. Man, Shane, I had no idea that you were local. I think I asked you that one the day we first met, and I totally forgot. So that's going to be fun. We're going to talk some local stuff on here. As you guys know, the listeners, I'm born and raised here, fourth generation in Tampa, which is pretty rare. And to have another guy from Tampa or Dade City, you might as well call it Tampa. Nobody knows where Dade City is anyway. It's like when you go to college and people are like, where are you from? They're like, Tampa. And like, well, it's really Ocala. And I'm like, yeah, I think you kind of crossed the line.
Yeah, nobody knows Ocala. You just got to tell people from out of state you're from Tampa, and they know exactly where you're
Yeah, exactly. You're like, Tampa, well, how about like an hour north of Tampa? Oh, you mean Orlando? No. Anyway, so we're going to have a great show. Ksenia is with Mahara and Associates. If you guys are just now tuning in to the show for the first time, one of the top real estate companies in all of Tampa Bay. Sen, I have not asked this question a lot. We do the stats every show, Shane, where Ksenia is a real estate agent. She brings all the stats for the real estate world and talks about, are we up, are we down? And sometimes she scares us. Sometimes she brings us good news. But the one thing we haven't talked about in a while is, and I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, but Mahara and Associates, we're about halfway through the year. How are we looking on closed volume? You guys
we're looking pretty good. I think hopefully by the end of the month, we should be at around 200,000. All right, I'm sorry,
Whoa.
200 million.
I'll do that again, James. We need 3 of those for that one.
Oh, whoops.
That's it. Way
200 million.
Okay, 200
That's a much
million.
better number.
Now, do you remember off the top of your head what was last year's total?
You know what? We're probably somewhere around more like 4.
So are you?
I think we're doing pretty okay. Similar to last year.
Okay. And I know it. I know at one point we were thinking about trying to get to 5, right? Was that like a goal?
Let's do that goal for next year.
For next year, she says. Are you punting right now? She's like, I'm just going to kick this one. So that's exciting though. So just to know that so the bottom line is this, it's not like we have less sales, right? I
mean, I don't know the actual, quantity of sales, but just in general, sales activity is not where we were hoping it would be, just yet. But things aren't bad.
No, they're not bad.
They're not like those headlines you see. So
all the fake news headlines, we call those clickbait. right? And we did a couple of those last week. Matter of fact, if you're scrolling through your Instagram or your Facebook or your MySpace or whatever, and you see people talk about how the Florida real estate market is tanking and it's in the toilet and people are moving out. That was my favorite one last week, where people are moving. Tampa is the number one market that people are leaving. It's like, what?
Nobody's leaving here, man.
Nobody.
Everybody's moving here.
Everybody.
It might have slowed down. But
right.
People aren't leaving.
No, I don't think so. Like what's your motivation to leave?
We just need a couple more hurricanes and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah. That's actually funny. The guy we had on last week, Cindy and I were talking about how exciting it is to have people moving here. He's like, no. He's like, stop. He's like, get the hell out of here and take your politics with you.
I think we're full though. Like
That's actually what Brandon said, didn't he? He said Florida's full. He's like, I will say it is getting a lot fuller than it used to be. I mean, you're born and raised here, so you're in Dade City. I mean, Dade City, it's still mostly cow pasture. But when you grew up, I mean, were there even traffic lights?
Yeah, there was some dirt roads, maybe, you know, a couple cows, but no, yeah, they had traffic lights and stores.
Stores, like more than Dollar General?
Yeah. I think it was like the Quiggly Piggly and
Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly.
Yes, and Hoggly Woggly. Yeah. Those are real, by the way. We're not making those up. If you guys aren't from the South and you've never seen a Piggly Wiggly or a Hoggly Woggly.
Hoggly Woggly is real? I know Piggly Wiggly is real, but Hoggly Woggly.
Hoggly Woggly. You never heard of Hoggly Woggly?
You're making that up, right?
No, I am not making that up. I'm going to Google right now on this Google machine, and I'm going to find out where the closest Hoggly Woggly is, because this is real. Hoggly Woggly.
I'm going to go there.
Yes, you should.
If I got to do a little drive.
Let's see. Hoggly Woggly. I'm putting it in right now. Hoggly Woggly. Okay, my phone is going to tell me I'm an idiot, but it is real. I've been all over the South hunting and all this stuff. And let me see. Oh, no, so that came up with something else. Dang it. You guys are killing me here. Hoggly. I don't even know how do you spell Hoggly Woggly? W-O-G-L-E-Y?
You made it up.
No, I didn't. I promise I didn't make this up. I think it was in Alabama. Let me see if I can find it. Nope. Okay, my phone's now telling me nothing exists for Hoggly Woggly.
Well, while he's doing that, actually, since you're from Dade City, because I have a listing that's closing there soon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And yeah, maybe, the Hoggly Wogglies and Piggly Wigglies. But when I was researching it, and I've actually never been there, but I'm curious, there's like a giraffe wildlife park. Have you ever been there? Or do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, there's a place outside of Dade City, I think, that you can go where they have like different wild animals, and there's like I think they're rescue animals that you can go to. I don't remember the name of it. It might be closer to Land O'Lakes, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I know that there's giraffe in the name, but when I looked up the website, I mean, yeah, they had all kinds of wild animals. They do like safari drive-throughs. You could do like a Segway tour. Like cool. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
So I was curious.
Where is this? In Dade City?
That's That's what the address said, because I've been to Tree Hop before.
Tree hoppers.
Yeah,
tree hoppers.
Or
tree hoppers.
Yeah.
The whole like adventure course.
Yeah, with the zip lines.
Cool. Yeah, with the zip lines.
The Snowcat Ridge.
There's
Snowcat Ridge. Actually, I have yet to go there, but it sounds fun.
It's cool. It is fun.
So while we're talking about random stuff in Dade City over here, every year you guys do this crazy Halloween paintball park adventure. Have you seen that, where you get to go shoot zombies and shoot ghosts, and they're dudes just dressed up, and they give you a gun and you get to shoot them?
You actually have to sign a waiver
for
your life in order to go there. I've never been.
It was the most dangerous thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, they put 50 people on an open top bus, drunk, and give them all paintball guns and let you shoot the zombies outside the bus.
Screamageddon. Is that the name of it?
Screamageddon. That's what it is, yes. Yeah. And this is just one part of it. But here's the thing. The guys on the bus don't have freaking masks on or anything like that. And these dudes are just waving their guns around. Like, how somebody has not gotten a paintball through the skull, I have no idea.
How did you actually go on that? That sounds pretty scary.
You know what? It was a Groupon. It was literally a Groupon, and me and like 10 guys did it. I showed up. I'm like, it was really cool. I mean, you got to shoot the crap out of dudes who were like running around in zombie suits, but in the end, I got off. I'm like, that was probably the most dangerous thing I've ever done in my life. I will never do that again. By the way, Hoggly Woggly, found it right here, showing it on Instagram. Hoggly Woggly is in Tallahassee, Florida. It is real.
I'm not driving to Tallahassee to go there, but
that is where we're going. Next week, the business happy hour will be at Hoggly Woggly on Capitol Circle in Tallahassee. No, I'm kidding. We really, really won't. But I did fact check myself.
What is it?
It's a convenience store, grocery store. So it's an offshoot of Piggly Wiggly, right? And apparently they had other locations in Alabama, and Tallahassee's the only one left. So there you go, guys. There's your Hoggly Woggly.
Dude, you were right, man. I never heard of it.
I know. Piggly Wiggly, big one though. Okay, so let's do some stats here in real estate, and then we'll come back in. We'll talk a little bit more about what's going on in the market. Then we're later in the second segment. We're going to find out who is Shane Stanfield and where's he from, and most importantly, how did he get into freezing people for fun? And it's not just only about freezing people, but my wife and I had the chance to go over to CRYOGENIX and check it out ourselves, and it was for me an amazing experience. For my wife, maybe traumatic.
Yeah, she's a little traumatized.
We might have to show some pictures of her. She'll kill me.
I'm glad she did it though.
I'm really glad she did it, and she stuck it out to the end. Yes. We'll tell that story here in a minute. But Sen, what do we have for the real estate market? How are we looking?
Okay, let's see here. So these numbers are for April, and in terms of closed sales, we were down almost across the board except for Pasco County. So Dade City probably did okay, but Hillsborough County we were down by 6% year over year. Pinellas 9.8%. And in Pasco, we were up 5.5%. The median sales price in Hillsborough was down by 2.9%, 4.1% in Pinellas, and 2.3% in Pasco. And those numbers are $417,000 in Hillsborough, $465,000 in Pinellas, and $380,000 in Pasco. But I also have my March numbers here. So actually in March, it was $415,000, $435,000, and $392,000. So for Hillsborough and Pinellas, our April median sale price is actually higher.
Whoa.
From the month before.
From the month
before.
From March to April 2025, prices went up.
Well, yes. Okay. If you're looking, year over year for my March, I mean, that's different, but still, it's.
So year over year, we're down just a little bit on sales price, like 3% roughly, right? But you're telling me if we're looking at our kind of our micro market, we're looking at March to April, we did have a little bit of an increase.
Yeah, and you got to remember that, the March closings, those are, from the beginning of the year, things that are going on. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, he just told me at 20 seconds. So with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to talk more of the real estate stats. Should you buy now? What is happening? And what happens with all this equity you have in your home? And what happens if you want to buy something before you sell something? Those are two topics that Cindy and I are going to cover today related to real estate, and we're going to meet Shane from CRYOGENIX. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute on the Business Happy Hour.
Yes, James.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Like if you're doing something, you can like he's got another 10 seconds to play with or whatever. Just if he says it, finish a little and then I'll wrap us out.
No problem.
All right. And James, well, that's true. You can do that. James, what does your schedule look like for next week if I wanted to record on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday? Okay. Okay. All right. Let's make that decision before we take off.
Okay.
If we're going to move the show. Yeah. We'll lock it in as soon as we're done with the show. We'll figure, or maybe in the next break, we'll talk about it.
Well, Wednesday is good for me.
Actually, I'll look right now while we're talking. Okay, so cryogenixrr.com is the website. What's RR stand for?
Rejuvenation Recovery.
Boom.
Make sure with an X. CRYOGENIX with an X.
Yep, CRYOGENIX with an X. That's probably the easiest to have. Oh, we can get your IG too. Is CRYOGENIX_RR.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. That is better for me already. So Thursday or Friday of next week. Yes, sir.
All the best mortgage or real estate advice from Tampa Bay's top experts. It's the Business Happy Hour with Frank the Bank Cotto and Senia Kishina.
Hey, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial, and we're having a great show already with Shane from CRYOGENIX, and you can find them at Cryo, CRYOGENIX. That's CRYOGENIX, RR.com. Stands for...
CRYOGENIX.
Rejuvenation and recovery. I put him on the spot. He's like, what?
I was thinking of something else. I should have been paying attention.
You're on a radio show, Shane. Welcome to the radio show. No, we're having a good time over here. So before the break, Cynthia, we were talking a little bit of statistics. Now, I know you've got more for us, and then you kind of give us. I want you to give us the big picture as a real estate agent. What are you thinking? I want you to predict the future. But go ahead and go on with some more of these stats.
Well, I mean, to wrap those up, I want to talk about the days on market, which I take the median. So it's pretty level across the board, 33 days across like Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, and Hernando, which is pretty good because I think we were, more like 40 not that long ago. But that means that from the time you list your home, there's a good chance that you will get a contract within, 30, 35 days.
So isn't that shorter than what we had just last month? Weren't we at longer days on market?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep, a little bit.
I mean, I feel like we're kind of so that is that a good, like, what does that mean?
Last month across the board, it was 37 days. In April, 33 days. And that just means that, the, shorter time to sell.
Right. Like things are on the market for a shorter amount of time.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the neighborhoods, like I've got a few new listings coming up. I mean, some neighborhoods, there's still properties that are going pretty quick.
Got it.
Within a week or two, that's their median.
Right. What is, can you tell like what's selling slower?
I still think like that, median price point, between $400,000 or $500,000, there's still a big, draw for those homes.
Right.
If it's presented well, you price it just right, and it shows well.
I think the key is presented well. I think that's what I'm seeing. The biggest difference is when somebody's house is fully renovated and it presents very well, because I think that there's fewer buyers in the market right now, so less people have vision. Is what I'm seeing. When you have a whole bunch of buyers, you got a lot of people with vision. They walk in and say, oh, I can renovate this and I can do this and this. Right now, you have a smaller buyer's pool, so less people have vision. So you have to be in very nice shape if you want your house to move.
Yeah.
So how strong do you think the market is? I mean, we're in the summer. We should be pretty strong right now.
I mean, I'm busy.
You're busy. Good.
Yeah, I've gotten busy, so I do think that our May numbers will look better. June, I think activity is picking up. But the biggest, drawback still is, I think, interest rates. I think the interest rates keep our buyers on the sidelines. I know there's a lot of buyers there that would love to buy right now, but they're hesitant just because, uncertainty, and they're waiting for the rates to drop. If that does happen, which we're hoping it will, towards the end of the year, then they're going to come out of the woodwork. Right. And it'll happen quick.
Yeah. And if your days on market is already declining, that just tells me you have even a bigger storm coming. If your days on market are 90 days and the rates drop, okay, it's going to get busier. But if your days on market are getting down to 30 days or less, and that means you don't have nearly the inventory that you need.
And speaking of inventory, so the month supply in Hillsborough is 4. Okay. Pinellas 5 months, Pasco 3.9 months of inventory.
Oh, is that the first time we've had something in the 3s?
I mean, it's been inching up.
Yeah.
Because, for a while there during the COVID market, they were really low.
Right.
But I mean, still, those numbers, if you're thinking, between 5 and 6 is kind of that equilibrium point, we're not there.
No, we're far.
So to that point, if rates do come down, all these buyers come out of the woodwork, there's really not enough inventory to meet that demand.
No.
That just means, in Hillsborough, it would take 4 months for all the inventory to sell.
Right. And that's going to happen very quickly if the rates drop. That's my prediction. So let's talk real quick before we get into cryogenics, Shane. We don't bore you with all this real estate stuff.
No, it's okay. If I can be honest about something.
Yeah, please.
I wish the market would go down. I'm a real estate market bear.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah.
So what do you want to see?
I want to see housing market at least slow down enough to where you can afford a home to live in.
Got it. So
because it's gotten so expensive.
Yeah. So you're looking for the prices to come down a little bit, and you want to see that kind of spur the market to get people back.
Yeah. Believe it or not, in 2008, that's kind of how I started CRYOGENIX. I bought 2 houses when the market crashed, and then I rented them out for a few years, and I was able to flip them. Then I could start my business. So
interesting.
Yeah. Right now we're renting. We're not buying right now. It's just I don't want to buy because it's so expensive.
Yeah, right now, and you know what? A lot of people did think the prices would come down a lot more than they have. You know, the
Right.
numbers that we talk about, oh, okay, you know, it went down 2%. It's really,
It's negligible.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, they're
big enough to
sticking.
make that
Yeah.
difference. So, you know, coupled with prices still, you know, being pretty stable.
I think because it's in Florida too, a lot of people still want to move here.
Oh, wait. So you're saying not everybody's leaving here?
No. Maybe not as many people moving here.
Right. But okay, so this is very interesting. So we have a consumer's point of view. Like we're over here, the real estate people are talking about, this is what the stats show. We've got an actual consumer here, and he's saying, I want the prices to go down. So what does that tell us overall as all the professionals if the consumer wants it to go down? And we've had a tough time, honestly, over the last 3 years. Like Cindy and I, you know, we've known each other for a couple of years now. I know when we got to know each other first, we're thinking, oh, okay, this will be over in a year. Oh, okay, it'll be over by next year. Shoot, dude, we're halfway through 2025, and it's really not changing. But the fact that prices are remaining about the same, what I have to predict out of that is that the market is rather stable. It's not really that volatile right now. So,
Well, I mean, the people that own homes currently, especially if they have, you know, those amazing rates from a few
Right.
years ago,
They're not
I mean,
gonna
it's hard to make a move. So, I mean, it depends on seller's motivation.
So here you go. I'm going to make a move. I have a minute and 15 seconds. I'm going to listen up. If you have a house with a lot of equity and you are thinking about moving, there's usually two hurdles that you run into. One, you need the money from the sale of your home to move, right? Two, you don't want to make multiple payments. So you want to list your house with Cinia so she can sell it so you can find another house and you can buy it. But you can't get to that equity without making 2 or 3 mortgage payments, having an equity line, having your first mortgage payment, having your new mortgage payment if you want to move. So in comes our buy before you sell product. You can literally access 75% of the equity in your home minus whatever you owe on your first mortgage and on an interest-free, payment-free bridge loan. And let's throw this one more thing. We're going to pay your mortgage payment for you for 6 months while you sell that house with Cinia. Literally wire the money into your account to make your mortgage payment for you on your current primary house for 6 months. And we're going to give you 75% of your equity minus your first mortgage to buy that other house, pay off debt to qualify, or fix up the house that Cinia is selling for you. How do you find out about this? You go to contactfrankthebank.com. That's the easiest thing, contactfrankthebank.com. Or you call Cinia at
813-755-REAL.
That's it, 755-REAL or contactfrankthebank.com. That's how you access the equity right now and be able to move before selling your house. We'll find out more when we meet Shane here from CRYOGENIX on the Business Happy Hour. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Ooh.
I'm glad you brought that up. I have a scenario to run by you for current clients.
Okay.
I need to figure out the best way for them to.
Perfect.
Is that my phone? It's not going down, man.
I don't know
That's
why.
it.
Do you hear his phone? I hear it.
I hear something.
I don't know why it's not going down.
Maybe because I'm live.
I thought it
but
was mine, and I was telling you to turn it down.
I've got everything.
It doesn't
It's-
go all the way down.
Yeah.
It still lifts up a notch, but yeah, it's
That's
definitely
it.
loud.
Wait a minute.
It's mine.
Hold on.
Test,
talking?
test, 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 test. And it's not going down. I don't have anything.
Are you on Android?
Wait, keep talking, Sam.
Hello, hello.
Okay, that one's mine now. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Hello, 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 hello.
I think yours is down. I think it's mine that's freaking on now.
Is your microphone off?
Like this right here. You want me to press that off?
Oh yeah, press that off. There you go. Okay.
Test,
What did you
test.
Well, I can't.
It's
Is
still
it better now? Oh no.
You still hear it.
Hello?
Yeah.
Crazy. Say what?
James said he didn't notice it
Oh,
in
it's
the
not. It's not being
recording,
picked
so-
up. Okay, good. That's all that matters. If he's not hearing it, I don't think it's hurting anything. Instagrammers, let us know if you're hearing any type of echoes or anything like that. But so far, I think we are good to go on here. All right. So Shane, you're about to go on set here. Do you want to talk that scenario on the air, or do you want to talk off the air on that scenario?
We'll talk off the air because yeah, I'll
Okay.
just tell you what they're thinking. But
Yep.
I'm gonna see.
So
if you
I'll
have any
I'll
creative
recap it right
solutions.
now, and I'm going to mention home equity lines because that's the two things you can do with your equity right now is, do an equity line to refinance, or I'm ready when you are there, honey.
Welcome to the Business Happy Hour radio show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, the owner of Lincoln Lending Group right here in Tampa Bay for 23 years. Joined by his incredible co-host, Senia Akishina, realtor with Mahara and Associates, Tampa's top real estate company. Together, they have helped finance and close nearly $1 billion of real estate every year. If you're looking for local mortgage or real estate advice, the Business Happy Hour team has been right here on News Radio WFLA for over a decade. Listen right here or find us on the Business Happy Hour YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram at Frank the Bank Cotto. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious mortgage, real estate, and business talk with two of Tampa's top experts. Here's Frank the Bank and Senia.
Hey, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. And before the break, thank you for those applause, James. Before the break, we were talking about how to utilize the equity in your home if you are trying to buy a new house before you sell your house. Long story short, I'm not going to recap the whole thing here because we need to get to know Shane from CRYOGENIX, but we do want to remind you, if you have equity and you want to list your house, there is a way to get an interest-free, payment-free bridge loan on your home where you don't have to make a payment on that, and we'll pay your mortgage payment for 6 months. That's right, we will pay your mortgage payment for 6 months while you find that new home, and we do not have to count the payment against you. We'll pay it for you, and you don't have a bridge loan payment. That's a great way to do it, and another way to access your equity right now is through home equity lines of credit. If you've got a great first mortgage rate and you need access to some equity in your house, Lincoln Lending Group does home equity lines of credit faster than anyone else. We can get your money in hand in less than 2 weeks. Go to contactfrankthebank.com. That's contactfrankthebank.com, or text me on my cell phone, 813-765-1239. That's 765-1239. Woo! All right. That's a long commercial there. So, Shane, CRYOGENIX, welcome to the show. I had a chance to meet you. I let you freeze myself and my wife. We both survived, and we're both here. So I found out you're from Dade City, another local, which is absolutely awesome. He came from 2 traffic lights and a dirt road and Piggly Wiggly, all the way to Hoggly Woggly in Tampa. And, and somehow, some way you got into CRYOGENIX. Let's first learn who is Shane Stanfield and how the heck did you get into this CRYOGENIX field?
Well, actually, I think it was in 2016. I trained a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I also had a landscape business at the time, and I was training for a world tournament, I think in 2016, and I hurt my back doing landscaping, and I think it was like 2 weeks out before the competition, and a buddy of mine was like, hey, let's go do cryotherapy. There's a place in Tampa that's doing it. I'm like, what is cryotherapy? He's like, oh, it's, this cold therapy, you go in negative 200 degrees for, 3 minutes. Floyd Mayweather's doing it, and he showed me this video, and I was like, dude, I'm not doing it, man. I hate the cold. I'm a Florida boy. I'm not going to do it. He's like, no, bro, just come on down. Like, your back's hurt. It'll make your back feel better, and we'll just go check it out. Just go with me, and ended up going down there and checking it out, man. And I absolutely just kind of fell in love with the business, the whole idea of being able to help people with pain and a plethora of different issues without having to rely on medication and drugs and things like that. It's like an actual natural way to, make yourself feel better mentally and physically too. So I did the session. Yes, it was super cold, and then it was like a nitrogen unit. So the nitrogen, it's a little bit more stingy than the electric unit that we have now. It was super hard, but I ended up really just kind of falling in love with the whole business idea, and I started asking the owner all these different questions, and then I started going to different places for different reasons, and then thought of the name, and we were actually, I think we were the first in Pinellas County, and the end of 2017 towards December is when we had our soft opening. Then we had our regular opening in March of 2018. So. Man,
you guys have been around a long time. Mm-hmm. You're not, a lot of people think these companies are just fly by night, right? But they're not. I mean, you guys are, you're going on almost a decade.
Yeah. I think there was only maybe 50 in the entire state.
How many do we have now?
There's tons now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There might be 50 in Palm Harbor right now. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But they're all over. Yeah. They're opening up everywhere right now. Wellness centers.
But they're not CRYOGENIX you.
Not a CRYOGENIX. There are cryotherapy places all over Florida and stuff like that too. But we try to stand out. I think really what makes us stand out is the people.
Right.
Like our staff is amazing, man.
I mean, do have an amazing staff.
Yeah. I mean, we try to hire not just people who are just good at certain things, but people who are good with people and who
Right.
genuinely care and want to help people, have a genuine, want to help people feel better, like regardless if it's for their weight, for pain or whatever it is. I mean, my staff is really awesome, and I'm really blessed to have them.
Definitely. So Sen, I don't, do you know anything about cryogenics and what
I
he's
don't, but
talking
hey,
about?
so speaking of feeling better after your first visit, I know the business intrigued you, but did your back feel like
Yes.
you were sold?
Yes. I was completely sold.
Okay.
It wasn't like I felt immediate relief after the first session,
Really?
but the way I felt afterwards, I like my endorphins were going. I felt really, really good. Just mentally, I felt so much better, and I had so much more energy, and I just kind of fell in love with the concept of it. But yes, and I started going to different places for different things like anxiety. I was like, because I was, running a landscape business at the time, and I wasn't sleeping well. So I started going to a couple different places. Shout out to CRYOGENIX in Wesley Chapel. Those guys have been awesome. They were actually open up before I was, and they gave me so much information. And I started going there and talking to Biko and Jesse just about like business ideas and if it's really working for people, and started using their chamber, and it really helped with like my sleep, anxiety, pain. But cryotherapy is one of those things, like the more you do it, the better it's going to work for you.
Okay.
So you have to stay consistent with it to really see the benefits, to lower the cortisol levels in the body.
Okay. But no, to answer your question,
Yeah.
Frank, I mean, I've heard of, the cryogenic chamber,
Right.
in the movies about the future and people, getting in one to, wake up, 200 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
That's really the extent of it. Like, I'm not really like on TikTok or like too much of the social media. So I'm sure other people have probably heard about it,
That's cryonics. I believe.
Cryonics.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
But Illy told us about it, a few weeks ago. I'm
Yep.
like, oh, that's so cool. And she normally gets good sleep, she's very
Yep.
healthy, but she's like, oh my God, I had the best sleep of my life, after doing the, cryogenics.
Yeah, she was actually able to read it from her watch because
Yes.
it tracks her REM sleep, and her REM sleep increases every time she does cryotherapy.
Oh, okay. See, I need to get one of those. What does she just have, an Apple Watch or something?
I
like
think
that?
so. I'm not
Yeah.
sure which one she has, but I know that it tracks her sleep, and she can tell like what type of sleep she gets that night. And every time she does the cryo, it's definitely a better, more longer, harder, deeper sleep.
So I think for the listeners, especially since Senia thought that you were freezing yourself like Walt Disney World and you're going to come back, Walt Disney, this is not an ice bath. Right. And that's kind of like what I thought when I was first going to meet you and driving out to your place. I thought it was like ice baths and stuff. It's totally different. It's a chamber. Can you explain that a little bit to people? And then you kind of said what it does, but maybe just kind of layman's terms it a little bit for your regular guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ice bath is more like it's a wet cold.
Right.
And it's a lot longer session. So you've got to go into an ice bath for about, 8 to 15 minutes to get the real benefits from it.
Okay.
And ice baths are anywhere 36 to 42 degrees. The cryotherapy is more of a dry cold, and you go in for just 2.5 to 3.5 minutes. But it's negative 160 degrees Fahrenheit in hours. But it's not as bad as you think. We have a beginner level, so it makes it super easy for beginners. It's still cold because you need the cold to get the benefits.
Right.
But it's more of a dry cold. We give you music to listen to,
Yeah.
gloves, hat. The more skin exposure, the better the session's going to be. But it's more about how you feel when you get out. And you feel absolutely amazing after.
So beginner
after a
level,
session.
does that mean a higher temperature? So not
It's-
quite as cold,
No,
or just a shorter
it's-
amount of time?
Yeah, it's going to be a shorter amount of time with less wind speed. So like we have like the higher levels, it increases the wind speed in there, so it kind of coats your body a little bit more, and it feels a lot colder. But a lot of people that just don't like the cold, they'll start with a beginner level, and then after 5 sessions, they're already on like an extreme advanced level because of how they feel when they get out. Like your body's it's always cold, but you sort of acclimate to it. It's like this weird feeling. You start like looking forward to your cryotherapy sessions, It's like, yeah, but it takes a few times to do it. But once you get in that rhythm, you know how you feel when you get out. So you're looking forward to that endorphin rush every time you do a session.
Right.
You feel so good.
So you
when
guys
get out.
guide this then, like if I come in for my first one, then you kind of come up with a plan. Okay, I don't like the cold, so you
Yeah.
put me, at the beginner level, and then there's a plan to kind of gradually move up. And how
Yeah.
often do most people, like, what do you recommend? Once a week?
Yeah,
Once a
no,
month?
daily is better.
Daily,
At
okay.
least 3 times a week. The goal target is 12 minutes a week. And that's when you start really getting the effects of the cryotherapy after doing 12 minutes a week.
What can someone expect to notice from it? I mean, I've only done it once, and I'll tell my experience after the break. About my wife and I got to ask you like what you put us in and things like that. But what does somebody expect if they can get themselves up to that 12 minutes? What should they expect to feel?
They're going to have less pain, more range of motion. They're just going to feel better mentally, physically. You sleep better, just more cognitive thought patterns and stuff like that too. So, just overall the quality of life when you do cryotherapy, it just kind of raises the bar on how you feel.
What is the science behind it? Why does it do that to you?
Because it releases norepinephrine after every session. The norepinephrine lowers cortisol levels. It also increases alertness and awareness in your body. And those have been the scientific studies is, when you subject your body to certain extremes, your brain releases these neurotransmitters called norepinephrine, which lowers inflammation levels in the body. And then it also boosts your mood. It boosts endorphins, lowers cortisol, so you can have less pain and inflammation throughout the body. It's just
interesting.
The more you do it, the better it works. The more norepinephrine your body releases after every session.
Norepinephrine.
Yep.
I'm going to write this down. Norepinephrine.
This makes sense. So I'm not a Florida native.
Yeah.
I'm actually from like the Arctic Circle.
Ah!
And in my hometown, we had this lake that would freeze over. And then we had these people, which I just thought was crazy. They would go, ice swimming. You cut a hole in the ice and then they would take the dips. And I just thought, hey, they do this for fun. Like, that's crazy. I would never. But now I know.
Yeah.
So there's just, the benefits to get really, really cold for a little bit.
Yeah. It was really interesting. So we only got 15 seconds. So we'll take a break here. When we get back, I'll tell a little story. And I'm going to have to ask Shane what exactly he put us in when he put us in the chamber, how cold it was and for how long. But you have to stay tuned and listen to the other half of the last segment of the show. Sorry. In just a minute on the Business Happy Hour. Don't forget it's CRYOGENIXRR.com. CRYOGENIXRR.com. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, last segment. We'll tell the story a little bit about what happened with Nicole and I, and then let's talk about the other services that you offer. We can just go into everything else and how it ties in and whatever else you want to say.
Okay.
And you want me to keep doing the website probably. We should mention the IG as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Facebook is CRYOGENIX Rejuvenation Recovery.
Got it. All right. Yeah, we can. You can say it all too. But I'll keep saying the website and I'll mention the IG.
Okay.
Yeah. Very interesting. So I just wrote to Nicole because Nicole's been getting tested for some things, and her cortisol level is like really high, and I didn't realize that it lowers cortisol. So I think she needs to get in there. And even though for her it was like torture for her,
But it's only a couple minutes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems, for me, like anything that's like, short and quick, I think I can endure it. Just like with at least workouts. I love that they're, I'm usually in and out of there in like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, you do her workouts too?
Yeah.
yeah, she just started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just did mine today. I was running late, and I got there 15 minutes into my thing. She's like, "Oh, we might have to do a couple less machines," and we were done, and we added a machine. Like I knocked them out in 14 minutes, the whole thing. And that's the whole thing about that workout is like you got to be mad at you're mad at yourself if you don't go because it's so short.
And it's not easy.
No, it's a hard 15, 20 minutes for sure.
Yeah,
and you get, but I'll to Shane's point, his stuff, it's easy. Like the cryo wasn't, and he put I'll tell the whole story when we get back from break, but I put the headphones on and dude, to me, I just jammed out. Like it was awesome.
Do you get just to your like undies or what?
Well, we have like sports bras and shorts, or you can wear like a bathing suit when you go in or whatever. So.
Okay, we'll save it for the show.
Yeah.
That's right. The producer's like, save it for the show. All right, let's do it.
Let's get back to the Business Happy Hour radio show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, owner of Lincoln Lending Group, and his co-host, Senia Akishina, realtor with Mahara and Associates.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. Speaking of entrepreneurial, we've got a great entrepreneur here on the show. We have Shane Stanfield from Dade City, by the way. He's a fellow tampon with me. He started a business. He was telling a story earlier. I don't know if it was on the break or if we're on the air when you're telling us how you flipped a couple houses and you got the money and then you learned about cryo because you hurt yourself when you're doing the lawn care and the jiu-jitsu and everything. And now, I've had a chance to go to your facility. facility. I drug my wife over there. We've got an interesting story. You know, you were saying how it lowers cortisol levels and it adds a norepinephrine.
Releases norepinephrine.
Norepinephrine. You know, but the point is you got to do it more than once. So I mean, you really kind of get yourself on a schedule to see the difference. And I love, by the way, Shane's friends with Illy from X-Force as well, who we're having back on the 24th. I don't know if you saw that on the schedule, but Illy is changed. I mean, she's the one who changed my life and my workout journey. And when she introduces me to people, I take it seriously. So that's why Shane's on the show right now.
Yeah, Illy's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate her.
Absolutely awesome. Xforcebody.com, guys. And by the way, Sen's doing it. Are you getting sore? Is it working?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, during my workouts, it's pretty intense.
It is intense. She's like, "Oh yes, it is." I knocked mine out in 14 minutes today, and I was shaking when I walked out of there. Like sometimes I come in the radio and I can't even write on my tablet. My arms are still shaking. So back to cryogenics. So you had my wife and I over there. And by the way, you guys offer a lot more services, which we want to make sure we touch on.
Sure.
And if you want more information on CRYOGENIX, it's CRYOGENIX, GENIX. That's very important, GENIXRR.com. Or you can find them on Instagram. It's CRYOGENIX with an X _RR on Instagram. And what was the Facebook?
CRYOGENIX with an X, rejuvenation and recovery.
There you go. And I guess that's what the RR stands for, rejuvenation and recovery.
Yes, sir.
So let's tell the story real quick about when my wife and I came in. I don't remember what setting you put us on, but I know I told you, I was like, don't put me on the weakest setting. Put me on something a little higher. And what did you do? Do you remember?
Yeah, I put you on an intermediate session.
Okay.
Yeah. So you handled it really, really well. I think really the hardest part is the first time.
Right.
Just going in and doing something different. I mean, it's intimidating. I mean, you're going into freezing cold temperatures.
Yeah.
And, you've never done anything like that before. So I get it. I was a customer myself, you know. But, you go in, it's 3 minutes. It's really not that bad. I put you on a intermediate level.
Okay.
You listen to music.
Yep.
You can wear like swim trunks or whatever.
Which that's what I did.
Yeah. And then for the females, it's, sports bra or bathing suit.
Yep.
The more skin exposure, the better.
Mm-hmm.
And, different levels for different people. Like a lot of athletes will go ahead and put them in like an intermediate or like an advanced level because they've done ice baths and stuff like that before too. But yeah, you're in and out before you know it. Like the cool thing about the service is it's like if people are in a hurry and on the go, like once you've done it a few times, we were training our clients to just run their own sessions. It's like you go, you change out, you pick your song, you set your level, and you go in, you're out, and you're in and out in 10 minutes.
Oh, for sure, easily. And you
full
guys
therapy.
gave me like some mittens and some nice warm shoe things I put on, and I just wore a bathing suit. And you threw the headphones on, and you told me to pick a song, so I picked like a rap song or something like that with some energy. And I went in there and I just danced. Man, I just kind of like danced around. I was like, oh, yeah, hit the beat. And then it shows you these lights. And then as the lights, what is it? It goes from like blue to red. Right?
Yeah, we can change the different colors, but it changes colors. And that's kind of like your timer. And then by the time it flashes back to the original color.
So you stand then if you were dancing.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I think I was envisioning, you lay down and so.
No,
you stand
chamber
there.
and
Yeah.
all right.
I'll show you a picture and I'll put it on I'll post it on our page so people can see. No, don't worry, Nicole, I won't put yours on there. But to me, I came out and I was like, I was pumped up. Like I felt the endorphins or whatever it is. I came out and I was just in a good, like tingly, happy mood. Now my wife, she's just laughing. We put her in there and she put the same setting, I think, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, you could see it in her eyes. Like she's in there.
Yeah, she's like, this is cold. This is cold.
Yeah. And her eye, but she's always been an athlete and she's always been a big competitor. And you could just see it in her face. She's like, I'm not gonna come out of this door. I am not gonna. If you did it, I'm gonna do it. But she, like, her eyes were frosting over.
She killed it though, man. She did it, and I can tell. Like she was glad she did it, but then at the same time, she was like, "Wow, that was cold."
Yeah.
So I got to ask Nicole then, because to me it seems like your 3 minutes seemed like 3 minutes, and I'm sitting here wondering, does that 3 minutes feel like it's 30 because it's just so brutal and you can't take your mind off the cold?
Yeah, it's the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like the first time you do it, it's the very second you get in there and you're like, "Oh, it's cold."
Yeah.
And then you kind of get through it, and then like right towards the end is like when you're like, "All right, I'm ready to get out." And that's kind of the hardest part is that last 30 seconds. But I mean, anybody can do anything for 3 minutes.
Exactly. And my advice to you guys, when you go out there and try it, you got to go to CRYOGENIX with an XRR.com. When you go try it, pick an upbeat song and pick something that gets you excited. I don't pick something that you're like trying to get to the end of the song. Because for me, like, I love the song I had on there. So all of a sudden, you know, we're starting to hit the jams and I'm like, yeah, and like I'm in the groove. And then the light starts turning and I'm like, oh damn, man, this light's turning red. Like things are happening in here, you know. So for me, I was pumped up. And when it was over, like, I mean, I don't know how much longer I could have gone, you know what I mean? But that's not what it's about, really, because you're just in there 3 minutes either way.
Yeah.
Do you ever have anybody that's like, oh my God, let me out of here? Like a minute in?
With the old unit that used nitrogen, we had more people want to get out of that because it's more of like a stinging cold. This is more of a drier type cold. So it's very rare. Like maybe in the 5 years that we've had this unit, maybe 1 or 2 people are just like, it just mentally got to them. Like I can't. But the cool thing is you just open the door and you walk out. It's not like you're locked in there forever.
Yeah,
like,
it's not a hypo chamber, a hyperbaric or nothing. Like,
and speaking of that, that's something we might be considering getting to.
Really?
Yeah, I've been doing some research on it, and we're looking at some really nice ones. So, yeah.
We had a hyperbaric doctor on here not too long ago.
Nice.
And that was a very interesting thing. I'd love to check that out. I mean, I know there's some major benefits. So I only have a minute left. Shane, what other services do you guys offer?
We do cryo-facials, which actually lift and tighten the skin. It's kind of like irons out the wrinkles using a cold therapy too. We have an Aspen laser that helps with certain pain. So like if you have an injury with your back or your elbow or your knee or whatever, the laser actually gets in there and helps repair the cells, increases stem cell production, gets rid of the inflammation, creates blood flow. So, you know, and all these are natural services.
Right.
And then we also have a lot of weight loss stuff. We have a new service now that actually will shrink the fat cells. And it works really, I mean, we're getting phenomenal results. I mean, people losing like 6 to 12 inches like throughout the whole body after like 12 to 24 sessions. And we put them on, it's not just about that. We put them on a whole program. We get them to, you know, we have an accountability sheet, you know, we get you off the sugar. We walk you through the whole process. We're coaching you through the whole thing. So like our goal is to get you to crush your goals, and we get to use cool like technology and everything at the same time too. So
and Shane lives by it, by the way, guys. He knows how to train, he knows how to work out, he knows how to give good advice, and he works out at X-Force.
Yep.
So we know that he knows what he's doing. Shane, it's been great having you on the show today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, and don't forget cryogenixrr.com, and we will see you guys next week. Senny and I, stay tuned to the Business Happy Hour. We've got another great show coming. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, Shane. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let me get that out to you right now. James, I want to will you keep me live real quick? I want to record a commercial really quick.
He's got to go.
Well, I'm not even going to do Ryan's. I'm going to just do something totally different because that might take too long. Instagram, thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Okay, tell me when you're ready. Okay, I'll do that first. Cryogenics is real. You have to learn about it on this show and how it can change your life. You can lose weight, you can fix injuries, and you can release endorphins in a way that you've never done before. Check out CRYOGENIX dot. Oops, not dot. Hashtag Frank the Bank, hashtag cryogenics, hashtag health. Share, let me get the show time. Okay. Uh-oh, what happened? Is that me? Stop. Okay. Here we go. I got to put on my timer real quick. Oh my God, that's insane what's going on over there.
I just turned on CNN for 1 second just to hear what they were saying about it because I know what